Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the World Illustration Awards winner interview series presented by the AOI in partnership with the Directory of Illustration. This is the sixth interview within our winners interview series where we've been speaking to the WIA 2025 winners about their amazing award winning project. And this is the sixth interview in our series, so be sure to check out the other interviews that we have on our YouTube. And today I'm thrilled to share that we're joined by Boum, who was our AOI Members Award winner and our Professional Exploration category winner. Boum is a German-Moroccan illustrator based in Berlin. Their work combines bright colours, narrative figurative elements, and addresses historical and contemporary forms of erasure. Their multidisciplinary practice ranges from illustration and painting to large-scale wood structures, as shown in their award-winning project, the Undocumented Archive of Queer Craftsmanship. We're so excited to have them here with us today. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's so nice to have you here with us today. And as I was just touching on, your award-winning project is amazing and your practice is so joyful, but also addresses some really important themes. And I'd love to hear more about yourself and your practice.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Boum. Yasmina. I work as an illustrator and visual artist in Berlin, and my background is in illustration, but my practice has become very intersectional over the years, I would say. Like I work with painting and large-scale work and installations and research and also text. And a lot of my work starts with like a historical research and archives and books and questions around the topics of power and visibility and memory. And I'm especially interested in queer history and like invisible labor and marginalized knowledge, like who gets remembered, who doesn't in history, but also like in present and in the future. And at the same time, I care a lot about color. As you said, like my work is very bright and I love sports. So sometimes I incorporate that in my work. And also accessibility matters to me. So I don't want my work to feel like too academic or distant. Like I want people to feel invited into these stories and yeah, to make it like relatable.
Yeah, I think you do that so well. I think your work feels so engaging and with those bright colors and, the playful combinations of dynamic poses with the figures, I think it really does invite people in to discuss the subject matters that are really important. I think that you do that so well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like in terms of like capturing I feel like all of your figures have so much personality. Where do you kind of pull your inspiration from?
Mm, Often when I draw figures, I kind of just draw them from what comes to my mind, but I often also get like inspiration from like the people around me. For example, in my project, when I interviewed the three carpenters, like I centered them in the piece, so that was kind of my main inspiration. Mm, I think I just try to not draw the obviously stereotypes, so I try to rely on like maybe other body shapes and like facial hair and not like the normalized image we see often in mainstream media and also in illustration. Like I see it a lot. So I just tend to drift away a bit from that.
Yeah, I think that that diverse representation is so important and it's so joyful to see in your work. It's amazing. And tell us about entering World Illustration Awards 2025. Was this your first time entering? What made you decide to take the leap of faith and enter?
It was really a leap of faith. Yeah. I wanted to participate because I have been following the awards since like a few years. And I never felt ready enough to participate. But the moment I finished this piece, which was also my master thesis, my final project in university, the Undocumented Archive of Queer Craftsmanship, I kind of knew that I wanted to take part in it because I knew the project has a strong concept and it has a like huge research behind it. And it's one of the projects I feel most proud of. So it's very multi-layered and I have developed it over like several years with like research. And I also had like a mentee in the alphabets program who kind of Irma. Puskarevich, she also helped me, like she guided me through some points and like we exchanged a lot. So it was like very, um, I interacted with like a lot of different communities by the time, not just academic, but also from the carpentry scene. And I also wanted to place my work in like an international context and see how it would be received outside of my immediate arts and academic cycle. Also, I think entering felt like a way of saying like this deserves kind of visibility, like it's important, and I'm going to do everything to open it to a broader audience because I think the topic is important.
Yeah, I mean, that is amazing. And I think that that really shows how much passion you feel for the project. And sometimes that is kind of the thing that gives people that push to decide, yeah, I need to showcase this and I want to put it on the world stage. So, yeah, it's great that you did enter. And I think, again, touching on what you were saying about not feeling ready or, kind of that feeling of reservation before people enter. I think that that is across the board. I know so many people that feel like that. And then it's always, that project that you do enter that ends up being the project that wins, which is really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I mean, you briefly touched on your award-winning project, and it's an amazing large wooden triptych, tricky
Yes.
to say, shining a light on queer craftsmanship. And I'd love to hear more about it, about the process as well, because you said that it was quite a long process to create.
Yes, it was. I have to laugh because also when I talk with my friends about it, it's like everybody is like, please work small scale now because we all had enough like carrying it around because I always rely on people to like move it to places. So yeah, but the project really started like from personal frustration. I almost became a carpenter myself before I studied art school, like back in the days. And I have many friends who also work in that area, and I kept noticing like how queer people and women and non-binary people and non-normative bodies were always missing in like the stories and the official archives here in Berlin, but also like in a broader context. And when I started my research and I started to, maybe can I find like a trans person or like a queer person like before the 2000s, it was impossible to find like stories or like even glimpses about them. So, especially in craft professions, there's so much knowledge that never got documented. So I began asking myself, like, what happened to these stories? Who decides what is worth preserving? Why aren't they preserved? Um, yeah, I think there is a lot of lost or deliberately not documented knowledge, which is just has not been written down. So there were only a few isolated accounts that have been preserved, which I found, but hardly anything is known about the everyday life of queer people. And I think it's not really a coincidence. Like there's a continuity in this practice, and there's like this systematic silence that hovers about all of it. And this is what I wanted to break, and my aim was and is still to create visibility and knowledge, which cannot be found in the books and which has not been documented. So what I did for my project was like I interviewed 3 carpenters who work in Berlin, queer carpenters, and I made them, as I said before, as like the center piece of this ginormous triptych that we built together. And it was really nice because it was a fusion of crafts, like of their knowledge, which has shaped the project as well. And there is this very practical approach of like building this thing manually by hand from scratch, which was amazing to do because I've never done build something this big. And also like painting with colors that I created myself with pigments. And then there is the theoretical approach as well. Like there is the subtitle for my project, which is Today was yesterday is tomorrow, which symbolizes kind of the continuity of queer identities throughout history. And at the same time, it shows as well how our perception of the present is linked to how the past is remembered and interpreted. So it's everything is intertwined. And by reinterpreting the past, like I did it also in the project, we kind of reshape the future, and then we can also change the present to a certain point. And we may understand and accept a bit more how queerness has shaped craftsmanship and also enriched it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that is such a beautiful sentiment, and I think that really personifying it in through your illustration work really brings to life that research. It sounds like there was like a wealth of research that you're kind of trying to pull into this triptych.
Mm.
It really feels like having those core people that you were focusing on really allows people to engage with it, and it has that kind of emotive quality when you're looking at it. But yeah, it sounds like, even beyond just the scale of it, the amount of research that goes into all of your work is really amazing. And hearing about how it translates from the research process right through to the illustration process and even mixing your own colors, yeah, it really sounded like a labor of love.
Yeah, it was. It was. Also, it was an emerging experience for me because I really took a deep dive into the topic, but also when you kind of stand in front of it, because it's like basically this door that can open and close. Usually when it stands, it's not fully open, it's like a bit closed. So when you stand in front of it, it's like huge, and you kind of get immersed into the artwork, which is also a nice experience. It's pretty
Yeah,
impressive, I have to say. Yeah.
definitely, like being in front of the stories and it becoming immersive. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a really incredible project. Yeah, no, it's great. And in terms of the whole WIA World Illustration Awards experience, what did you enjoy about the process from, the long list, the short list, to being a winner as well?
Yeah, so for me, it was like each stage was very exciting because being long listed already gave me a feeling that my project was kind of being understood on a conceptual level. And then being shortlisted, I was like, wow, it kind of apparently really resonates with people beyond my own community, and like people get it, which is always a nice feeling when you get the feeling that it gets like appreciation from outside. And then winning the AOA member award was of course overwhelming. I was like, ah. And it was also kind of a way of honoring all the hard work that I have put into the piece. I never would have imagined that I would get this far. And even though I know my project is really good, but there are just so many talented artists out there that I was like, well, no way I'm gonna win this. Um, Plus, I also enjoyed seeing my work next to other artists, like from very different backgrounds and cultures and practices. It really made me feel like there's, yeah, like this entire kind of global community, and it shows what illustration can be today. And there are actually no limits because I mean, I also won in the exploration category. Yeah, there are really no limits. It was like so many different pieces, which was great to see.
Yeah, it's so nice seeing how, as you said, it really is the way to showcase what illustration is today and how diverse that is and how many forms that illustration comes in. It always blows us away to see everything and from literally all around the world. So, as you said, seeing work side by side that is so different is like the most amazing part. It's really
Mm.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And in
amazing.
terms of winning the award, you said that you were really overwhelmed when you found out that you'd won. Has it, increased your confidence? Has it led to any commissions? What's kind of been the impact of the award since then?
That's a good question. I think mainly it showed me, of course, it increased my confidence. I mean, that's for sure. Who wouldn't be more confident after winning an award? But it also showed me that very research heavy work, and which also has a political approach, is not too much for illustration, but instead it enriches the process. So afterwards, I created another project, which is called Algorithmic Distortions: An Archive Against the Odds, which was again a project about craftsmanship. So actually, I um, took even a deeper dive into the topic, but the second time it was in the context of AI. And I think this is great that you have like one field where you can really, yeah, kind of explore all the different directions. And it's something that really excites me and keeps me curious. And winning the award was for sure like fuel for that. And it also opened professional doors. Like right now, I'm in a residency here in Cairo. I'm not in Berlin, and I'm working on my next bigger project which is also related to craftsmanship. And I think it's just wonderful to have like opportunity and time to do like project related research directly with the people here in Cairo. Um, so this is what happened like professionally, and it also like for my own artistic positioning, it helped me to position myself clearer as an artist who combines illustration with research and political standpoints, which I think can sometimes be hard to like to do and to really take the stance. But yeah, this was for sure something that helped.
That sounds great. The project that you're working on at the moment sounds really exciting. Yeah, it sounds like another big project that you're able to get your teeth into, which sounds really good.
Mm.
Yeah. And as part of being a 2025 AOI Members Award winner, you also received an AOI membership. Have you found any that you found particularly helpful?
Yes, I have to say I'm a member with the AOI since many years. I love them. I really appreciate the professional resources. Like I always have. It has helped me a lot in the past, like resources around pricing and contracts and negotiation. Like also getting the possibility of getting like direct feedback from the team, which I've also done in the past, and it has helped me enormously. So I think the problem is that details around pricing and licensing are rarely taught in university, and there's really like a lack of transparency among artists often as well. But it's so essentially if you want to survive as an artist and if you want to protect your work. And I think it's just really amazing what the AOI does and that it provides these resources and that you kind of have like someone you can go to and be like, hey, can we exchange? Just exchanging about it already helps. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is something I really value. And also the talks you give and like the insights on how other people, all other illustrators, they build their careers. And in general, I would say that it makes me feel less isolated and more supported as an illustrator. Yeah.
That's so nice to hear. It's really what the AOI aims to do is to make people feel less alone and to make them feel supported. And as you said, also demystifying the industry and giving illustrators the information so that they can go forward and, have the best careers possible with the most information. So that's really, really great to hear how much you love your membership. And yeah, it's always really, really nice to see. That's always really, really nice to hear. So for our final question, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of entering the World Illustration Awards 2026?
I would say don't underestimate your work. Like it's like I said in the beginning, many people wait until they feel ready, like I did. And then this moment may never come, or it may come, but it's like 10 years from now, who knows? And I think accepting that all our work and all our portfolios are kind of a work in progress helps to lose this perfectionism that we sometimes tend to stick to. So I think just submit projects that really matter to you, that you feel proud of, even though they feel unfinished. And my impression is also that the jury is interested in like strong voices and clear intentions, not perfectionism. And I think another upside is to see the application process itself as a way of reflect on your own practice and on your own work, because you need to write about your project and it might help you to see things clearer or see where you might continue to work on. So yeah, that would be my take.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice that's really actionable for people to use when they're applying for the awards this year. It's like you said, it just gives you a chance to reflect on the things that you're making as well. So that's great advice. Yeah, and it sounds like you're really busy at the moment, but have you got anything coming up that people should be keeping an eye out? For anyone that's watching this that hasn't seen, Boum's also taken over our Instagram, so make sure that you check that out and have a look at their Instagram as well to see what they're working on.
Thank you.
That's okay, no worries. Well, it was so lovely to chat to you and hear about your amazing project. And I'll be sure to pop all of your details in the description so anyone watching is able to check out what you're working on. But yeah, thank you so much. And again, congratulations on being an award winner.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure.